Welcome Castro for Gerald interview. We're gonna talk about El Salvador and his family, his ancestor, and it is the last day of 2020 tonight, and in a few hours it's gonna be 2021. So first of all, Happy New Year, Mr. Castro.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Castro, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
Good.
So we know you're from your family is from El Salvador.
Yeah.
And you are from United States.
Yes.
When did you move to United States?
So I was here and my family moved 1 month. Like
When you were 1 month.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you remember anything when you first moved to United States?
No.
Have you ever go back to El Salvador?
Yeah, I go back. I've gone back a few times. I would say about 4 or 5.
How long has you been there?
In total, probably like 3 months, 2 months.
Can you describe a little bit how El Salvador look like, and if people hear this, like how would you tell them El Salvador?
Definitely. El Salvador is a very poor country. There's a lot of poverty, which then leads to gangs and corrupt governments. It also leads to a lot of violence in neighborhoods. So, in all, El Salvador is a very dangerous place, and a lot of people look down on it.
So I heard your dad and your family, your ancestors came from El Salvador. Uh, like, can you tell us a little bit the story of them? Did they tell you something? Yeah, about us.
Of course. So my father, he was 16 and he was drafted into the Civil War. There was a huge civil war in El Salvador, and they were taking kids out of school, and he was unfortunately one of the children who were taken out of school. In training, a lot of unhumane training. Most people would call it torture here. And in the final stage of his training to join the army, he had to find his way home from the mountains with only a compass, and the home base was 31 miles away. No sergeant, only 3 other people with him. And as he thought that he could not go back to El Salvador as he would die in the war, and he knows he would die. So instead of tracking back to the army base camp, he decided to go with the 3 people and try to flee the country and desert the military.
When is that? When your dad age?
That was when my dad was 18, so he had 2 years of training before he.
When did your family, like your mom and your dad, have you?
So my mom was 36 and my dad was 32. It was in 2006, August 4th.
All right. So, can you tell me about like how your mom meet your dad a little bit? I just want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So my dad was in the United States, in Connecticut, and my mom was in law school.
Law school.
Yeah. They met. My father worked a lot of construction. So they met when he was doing renovations on my mother's house. or on my mother's parents' house, and that's when they met. And after that, they went on a lot of dates, and then after 3 years, became married, and
Mhm.
then had me.
Well, I first of all, I know you really well for some point, and I know especially you love soccer. Like you train every day. Sometimes you train by yourself at school, and you just love soccer. And how is your culture um, affect you with soccer? And how is your El Salvador your country, or what you experience have led you or influenced you on the road to soccer?
El Salvador, it's very different from United States soccer
Mhm.
or any country really. The play style has a huge influence on how I play in games and in practice.
Mhm.
Um, my motivation comes from my country as they haven't gone to almost any World Cups and have never won. Um, so I hope I can bring my country pride in a sport that they are all good at.
Have you contact with anyone in El Salvador, like your friends, some people?
Yeah, I have two half sisters in El Salvador.
Mhm.
I keep in contact with them. Um, they are really my main connections to El Salvador.
Yeah. Your like, have your family told you anything about mm, being a soccer player at the same time you have to attend school in Pomfret, United States? Mm, like, is there anything conflict or what you think about your whole life in the future about
Um,
either academics or sport and sport?
so like what I want to be in the future.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So my goal is to become a professional soccer player. Um, hopefully international team for El Salvador.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's my whole goal, and that's why I'm training every day.
Okay. Back to the point we talking about El Salvador. You told me earlier that there's a lot of violence and some school violence, something like that. Can you elaborate a little bit
Yeah,
about those kind of things?
of course. So with the violence portion, the violence mostly comes from gangs.
Mm.
And the gangs are they pretty much run El Salvador. Um, even the government, the president is under the influence of gangs.
Mhm.
Um, so an experience that I have close to that violence is my father, connection to my father. When he was only 12, he joined a gang, and he joined just to be affiliated, hoping it would be easier for him to progress in life and to get out or make money for his family. So we started with like little things that gangs do, like stealing. But then it progressed into more and more dangerous activities,
Mhm.
um, until one day my dad was shot. Um, it just skimmed his arm, but that was when he was 15, almost 16, and that's when he decided to leave. Um, leaving the gang isn't easy in El Salvador, and they harassed my dad's family for many years. Even now, they're probably still harassing my family. Yeah. Um, so that's like my first time experience with it.
All right. So, what about any academics? I was gonna say, like you're um, back to El Salvador, but I'm kind of interested in either like your academics right now in Pomfret. What do you feel like being at Pomfret and being in the United States?
So from my old school, it's very different. Pomfret is very challenging, rigorous. Grades are graded more harshly. Um, Adapting is definitely a challenge for
Mhm.
me. From the jump of having no homework to 3 to 4 hours of homework a night.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, like I've been trying really hard to get my grades up, um, and get to that level. So I have to hold myself accountable for my grades, all my grades, so I can play soccer, um, so I can make my mom proud.
Well, I think playing soccer at the same time, academics really important when you're going to professional in the future. Academics, those study will actually help you a lot. Mm, well, last question. So, have you been surprised when you first moved? When you see the difference El Salvador and United States, you or when you come to United States, will you feel any surprise?
Um, Definitely after my trips to El Salvador is where I feel how lucky we are in United States, and how horrible those people in El Salvador, their circumstances are, and how they need to work twice as hard as Americans, uh, just because of the environment um, they
Yeah,
lived in.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you're like kind of is there any time that adapted to United States culture? Mm, is there any those times?
Um, Any times like wait, can you say it again?
Like when you see how El Salvador is like acting this way, but United States acting that way, were you any undoubted time and undoubtable feelings?
Yeah. Like El Salvador. Um, yeah. So like my adoption to United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After I go to El Salvador, come back to United States, it's like all these little problems people have here. It's very petty and useless. Um, and like adapting to El Salvador and all the things they go to, and then coming back to these little tiny problems that people have that think they're like the world to them is kind of mind blowing, and I can't believe that um, they take everything for granted, and the people in El Salvador are really grateful for everything they can get.
Yeah. Well, hope you have a great life and a great future, and your career on soccer. Just hope you have fun every day. Thank you, Mr. Castro.
Of course.
And Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year.